Good Shabbos and welcome to Temple Shir Shalom's Kabbalat Shabbat service as we welcome Shabbat. It's good to be able to be together for this wonderful celebration as we begin this special time together, this holy time together. And as we do that, we have a tradition here at Temple, wherever we are, if we're on Zoom or on Facebook or on YouTube, that we like to get to know the people who are a part of our community. And so, whatever platform you find yourself watching this on tonight, take a moment to post something in the chat. Wish Shabbat Shalom to other members. Let us know that you're here, and we'll see maybe we can figure out who is writing in from the furthest away, who's watching our services and a part of it tonight. Our Shabbat service tonight is a meditation style service. And so, for some of the prayers, we might post them up for anybody that would like to follow along. But the idea of this service is that we want you to sit back, relax, and to really take a moment to be in the present, not thinking about this past week and what's been going on or looking to the future, but just to be and to soak in the moments of Shabbat, the special time that we have together to celebrate, to make different from the rest of our week, to rest, and to make holy. And so as we do that, we begin with some special words by one of our friends as Cantor sings, thanking God for moments to be able to study together, pray together, and learn together.
Sweet as honey, sweet as honey, sweet as honey on our tongue, sweet as honey, sweet as honey, sweet as honey on our tongue. Baruch Asher Kiddushanu B'mitzvotav v'tzivanu La'asok b'divrei Torah La'asok b'divrei Torah. Let us soak it up, let it all sink in. Sweet words of Torah, let us soak it up, let it all sink in. Oh, sweet words of Torah, sweet as honey, sweet as honey, sweet as honey on our tongue.
Traditionally, those are the words that we start every morning with, thanking God for giving us opportunities to study Torah. And this Shabbat, our Jewish community mourns the loss of one of the great Torah scholars. His name was Rabbi Adin Steinsaltz. He's most well known for the blessing that he gave to all the world, really, the ability to be able to study Talmud. Traditionally, Talmud, which is based on Mishnah and Gemara, which are commentary about the Torah and really fills in the blanks of Torah, was written in a language called Aramaic, which most people don't speak today, but was the language of the Middle East and where our people were 2,000 years ago. What Rabbi Steinsaltz did was take the Aramaic and put it into modern Hebrew. translated it for the modern Hebrew speaker as well as into English, and created what became known as the Steinsaltz edition of the Talmud. In doing that, he really made Talmud and Torah accessible to everyone that spoke Hebrew or English. To give you a sense of some of those things that are there, some of the ideas that are taught in it, Talmud is huge, and one could, if they studied one page a day, could spend over 7 years studying, and there are people who do that and celebrate that. This is actually in January we began the beginning of that cycle for anybody that wanted to. But there's a lot of great teachings in it. I want to share one that I came across that years ago as I was studying, that I thought was a great one. It comes from a tractate known as Brachot on blessings. Traditionally it talks about when we're able to say them, when Shabbat begins, when the middle of the night might be, what prayers we should recite and when. But it also talks about the blessings that we say and a lot of rules around them as well. There's a quote in it that said, "Use an expensive goblet today, tomorrow let it break." And as we meditate and get ready for Shabbat, I thought it was a great message for us to resonate and reflect on, to resonate within us. Use an expensive goblet today, tomorrow let it break. I invite you to close your eyes for a moment, to focus on your breathing, to breathe in, slowly inhaling through your nose, and to breathe out, exhaling through your mouth. Continue to focus on your breathing. And as you focus on your breathing, think about those words again. Use an expensive goblet today. Tomorrow, let it break. How many times in our lives do we set something aside? Something that we use for a special occasion. Something that we only take out once, or that we forget to take out because it's been packed away. Shabbat is to remind us at times that we're supposed to use those objects. We're supposed to bring those special moments, that joy, into our lives. We have something usually called an oneg Shabbat. It means the joy of Shabbat. For us, if we were gathering together at services, at temple for services, afterwards we might have a little bit of nosh together. And the idea is that nosh helps bring us more joy as well. Using that expensive goblet, that special one. Maybe it was a Kiddush cup that you used for a wedding, a bris, a bat mitzvah, for some sort of life cycle event that you set aside, put on a shelf, that you never really take out. That Talmudic quote is a reminder that we can make every day special by using some of those things. That maybe we set things apart during our week so that we can take them out on Shabbat and make this week something special as well. So in your mind, I invite you to think, what for you could you do to make this day special? What's that expensive goblet for you that you set aside, that you may have forgotten to take out for years, that you might not even know is there? Maybe something that was handed down, an heirloom to your family that you didn't use this past Passover, or for a special birthday. Maybe today is a day to take that out, as later on we join together for our Kiddush, sanctifying this day. But that really every Shabbat, and in doing that every day, we hope to make Shabbat come on a more regular basis with that Messianic era, that we can make each day special, unique, and that we use those things that were given to us. As we think of that, we take a moment as we rise together for those that would like to welcome Shabbat with the words of the Baruch Hu.
Open up our eyes, teach us how to live, fill our hearts with joy and all the love you have to give. Shelter us in peace as you lead us to your name, and we will know that you are one. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto, Leolam Vaed. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto, Leolam Vaed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Please be seated.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, השיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם להיות על ידך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
When we open up the Torah this week, we open to a Torah portion in the book of Deuteronomy called Akev. And the portion itself goes through and starts by saying, if you heed, if you listen to God's commandments, if you do all these things, Moses says, then God is going to bless you. God's going to protect you. Will look after you. That when we enter into the land of Israel, we'll be watched over. And that anybody that raises up against us will be defeated. It's an interesting portion as we look at it and understand it. But I think what the idea is it then goes on to talk about our history. That there were times when we didn't follow God's commandments. that we had disdain for some of the things that Moses brought to us, that God still watched over us. We're reminded of traveling through the desert for 40 years, and miraculously our clothes never had to be changed, never had to get new ones. They never wore out. Or that when we were hungry in the desert and started to complain, that God provided manna and still watched over our people. Moses uses that to remind the people, saying, even in those times when we didn't follow God's commandments, God still watched over us and protected us. But all the more so if we were to follow those commandments and these instructions that are given to us, that God would continue to do that. The prayer that we join together in a moment is known as the Hashkivenu. And the words in this prayer have a similar desire or hope that we try to express. We're asking God to watch over us and to continue to protect us. That tonight, as we join in these words, as we get ready to sleep, that God will protect our souls. And that tomorrow morning when we wake up, that we wake up to life renewed and refreshed.
Spread the shelter of your peace over us. Guide us with wisdom, compassion, and trust. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom. Save us for the sake of your name. Shield us from hatred, sorrow, and pain. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom. V'hamitenu Malkeinu
And as we prepare for the Amidah, for our communal prayers that are the climax of our service, we take a moment beforehand to begin with our own private meditations, having our own private conversation with ourselves and with God, sharing whatever it is that we might need, words that might not be written for us in books, in prayer books, but are written upon our heart. Please pray silently. Adonai,
Eternal God, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your glory. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avoteinu ve'imoteinu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak ve'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachbeah Elohei Rachel האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישוע, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללו חסדה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Beyond our own private prayers, do as a community, take a moment to think of those friends and family who are in need of healing. As we say the words of Misha Berach L'cholim, we ask God that help those who are sick or ill, that God help grant them a refuah shlema, a healing of mind, of body, and of spirit. Misha Berach Avotenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov, v'imotenu Sar Rivka Leah v'Rachel, hu yivarech et tacholim. Merciful God, who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebekah, Leah, and Rachel, send your blessings to our loved ones who are stricken with illness or anxiety. To Eugene Blakeman, Joel Bussell, Karen Kasman, Patty Seresny, Bill Cooperstock, Lisa Dorff, Ezra Chaim Ben Devorah, Miriam Farber, Gary Fishman, Adele Gaba Band, Howard Goldberg, Paul Goldberg, Dr. Barbara Goldman, Sylvia Goldman, Batya Batbeshia Panina, Charles Gross, Andrew Halo, Crystal Halo, Hank Heiser, Vera Hopkins Gordon, Rebecca Horn, Sarah Jacobson, Victor Kislak, Serafina Coffrin, Rick Kornspan, Yvonne Krasny, Marta Lazar, Henry Leopold, Nina Livieva, Zoe Marcus, Beth Margolin, Scott Miles, Rabbi Robert Nosenchuk, Eric Perez, Leslie Pillings, Miriam Leah Batdanel Esther, Jean Richmond, Alan Rosen, the St. Amand family, Erna Schoen, Amy Selmanoff, Suzanne Zalesnik Smith, Fran Sunny, Chaim Shmuel Ben Noach, Kochav Ben Noach, Sherry Weiner, Naomi White, all those battling coronavirus both at home and in the hospital, the 20,095 American troops who have been injured in Iraq and Afghanistan to date, as well as all the names in our hearts. May God grant them a refuah shlema, the healing of mind, of body, and of spirit.
of strength, who bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
So we pray for healing for those friends and family. We also take a moment to pray for those who are helping others to heal. Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, our God and God of our ancestors. May the one who blessed our ancestors bless all those who put themselves at risk to care for the sick. Bless those who continue to go above and beyond, everyone who puts the needs of others above their own. And bless those who navigate the unfolding dangers of the world each day, tending to those they have sworn to help. Bless them in their coming home and bless them in their going out. Ease their fear. Sustain them. Source of all breath, healer of all beings, protect them and restore their hope. Strengthen them that they may bring strength. Keep them in health that they may bring health. Help them know again a time when they can breathe without fear. Bless the sacred work of their hands, and may this plague pass from among us speedily and in our days. We continue with our concluding prayers, the words of the Elenu, which for those of you, if you are following along in our prayer book, could be found on page 41.
לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשה כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
The mystics teach us that the Kaddish has different meanings every time it is recited. In their minds, it is a prayer that links earth to heaven and bridges the chasm between the living and the dead. The Kaddish is the assurance that the soul is enduring and the human spirit is indestructible. It is a prayer that permits a child to remember a parent and a parent to remember a child. It is an opportunity to bind wounds and bring generation closer to generation. In light and in darkness, it is all of these and more, for it is our people's memory of the best that life has to offer. And so on this Shabbat, we think of those friends and family who have been taken from us in these most recent days, whose Shiva, Shloshim, and Shana we mark. Pat Carey, Esther Lisk Greenstein, Charlotte Rosner, Representative John Lewis, Florence Mars, Jerry Brown, Richard Menser, Esther Bogorad, Ronald Soloway, Mitzi Arena, Paul Fulton, Asya Cherniak, Adeline Meisner, Beatrice Howard, Cynthia Jean Watson, Fanny Zuckerman, Laura Roth, Susan Averbuck, and the 2,420 Americans in our armed forces lost in Afghanistan and the surrounding areas to date. And to their names we add those whose yahrzeits we mark, those of whose anniversary of passing we lovingly commemorate. Morris Aaron, Edith Albion, Jack Alpert, Martin Alvin, Stephen Glenn Averbuck, George Joseph Barr, Howard Berkowitz, Cantor Samuel Berman, Irwin Allen Bloomberg, Julius Bronstein, Diane Colton, Alvin Deladow, Cantor Stephen Dubov, Mel Lee Durbin, Lawrence Eisenberg, Gary Elias, Lois Fine, Nettie Freilich, Harold Friedman, Harvey Gallison, Manuel Gold, Solomon Gray, Sylvia Greenberg, Betty Marie Grix, Alex Gross, Jerry Hanrahan, Donald Hollinshead, Scott Hoseman, Erwin Marshall Hutton, Mary Ingalls, Ina Kadish, Jean Kaliski, Nachshum Karamov, Sheila Kirsch, Judy Crandall, Doris Lapin, Sidney Lieberman, Jack Malmud, Bert Mizell, Susan Meskin, Max Minlin, Seymour Merkus, Muriel Morris, Cindy Mostov, Harry Newman, Sheila Faye Oberndorf, Ida Raskin, Murray Roth, Maury Sack, Deborah Schmier, Mary Schwartz, Louis Seidman, Elliot Shepard, Hilda Silverman, Saul Slamovitz, Alan Small, Nellie Haight Spiegel, Hannah Steele, Mike Stelfox, Sam Sweet, Harry Techner, Irene Walt, Meyer Weinstein, Morris Weiss, Anne Lowy Williams, along with all the names in our hearts and those who have no one to say Kaddish for them, do we join together as one family, as one community, in the immortal words of the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah, Be'alma divrach Urtei v'amlich malchutei, B'chayachon uvyomachon v'v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru, Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah mivarach le'olam omei almaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shmei Dikrusha B'richu, Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, Tushbachata v'nechemata, Da'amiran be'alma v'imru, Amen. Yehei Shlama Rabba min Shemaya, V'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, Amen. Oseh Shalom b'mramav, Huya Aseh Shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, Amen. The source of peace, send peace to all who mourn, comfort to all the bereaved among us here and everywhere. Together we say, Amen.
Oseh shalom limromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru,
Good Shabbos.
Good Shabbos, everyone.
Shabbos to everybody. Wonderful Shabbat to begin, and a few announcements, different things going on that you might be interested in. As we do that, if you have a question for Tish for our question and answer session, feel free to post that on the YouTube page. Audrey is watching that there as she's helping us behind the scenes. So thank you to Audrey for that, and we'll take those Tish questions there. And then answer them in a moment. As we get ready, just so that people are aware, our Shabbat schedule, for those that would like to join us tomorrow morning as well, we're celebrating the bar mitzvah of Brock Winter, and that's going to be at 10:30 tomorrow morning. At 6 o'clock, for those of you who have been joining us for Havdalah, we'll be having our Havdalah service, and actually Simon Merkus will be becoming bar mitzvah at that service as well. And so that'll be available both on the YouTube channel and our Temple Facebook page for both those services. We hope that you'll join us for those. We have our Sunday morning minyan, which is via Zoom. And so if you'd like to be a part of that, send us a text. The information, the login is in our weekly email blast as well, and so you can find it there. And also, if you want to join us for our Torah study tomorrow, we begin with a little social time at 9:15 and then begin our study at 9:30, and that's also via Zoom. So if you'd like to join us for that, please feel free to send us a message, and we'd be happy to have you be a part of that and send you the login and the link information for that too. This Wednesday night, we continue with our trivia night. That's something a little bit different. Once each month, we have a trivia night where you can put together your own team. We have a way of doing it all virtual, and so you can be with people from all over the country. So I see that Mel and Rita made their way all the way out to Los Angeles already in their RV. And so if they wanted to join us with the rest of the family, they can do that on Wednesday night as well. I think they were the furthest that I saw on the coast over there that had joined us, but maybe elsewhere, and somebody can comment in the chat section if you're further than LA. But that's Wednesday at 8 o'clock, and you can RSVP online. There's a link that you can check out either in the eBlast or on our webpage and find that information as well. With that, let's see if we have any Tish questions that are coming up. Of course, as we're doing that, we also have our Israel class, which continues on Tuesdays at noon. And we're going to be back in Jerusalem this week on Tuesday, where we're going to be touring the Knesset, but also talking about contemporary issues in Israel. If you follow the news there's a lot of different things that are going on and some protests, and we'll be talking about some of those and modern issues. So it should be an interesting class, as well as our Monday morning musings with Rabbi Mike is happening on Monday morning at 9 a.m. So that would be a fun way to start off your week as well. With that, I see a Tish question. It looks like Blanche sent one in. What kind of feedback are we getting about our virtual services? So for those of you who have been a part of it, we've gotten great feedback from our Friday night services. Especially the online virtual viewers. We, in the month of July, tried to do some outdoor drive-in style services, and the feedback was positive for it, but the challenge was for the online viewers who are watching that the sound was a bit of a challenge, and so we've seemed to have figured that out, and we'll hopefully be trying one of those again in the future, but we wanted to go back to being in our homes again, or a place where our internet was more consistent and we could make sure that the sound quality was good. So we have that, and I think that's what the question that Blanche was asking. If not, maybe she's talking about our high holiday services, which will also be for our main services. We announced that they're going to be virtual as well, and we look forward to having people be a part of those. You'll be getting information about those coming up soon, but we also, in addition to the virtual services, have been talking about an array of other opportunities in addition to those services to be able to be a part of the community, both virtually and even possibly some in-person experiences for the high holidays to kind of set the tone and the mood for things as well. And so the feedback in terms of that has all been positive as well. People are very appreciative that they'll have the opportunity to be at home and not have to worry about coronavirus and either giving or receiving it from others in a crowded environment, and that they can set up their own sanctuary at home. And we'll be sending out some information about that in terms of like thinking about how do you create a sacred space for your home to be able to enjoy our high holiday services, because usually you either pull up the TV or the computer and we make that space what it is to be able to watch tonight, for example. but for high holidays, talking about different ways that we can set that apart and do different things. And traditionally, our home is actually known as a mikdash ma'at, a small sanctuary, so very appropriate to be able to participate in the high holiday services there and do that too. Looks like I was wrong. Rita is in Farmington Hills. Donna is your niece is in LA. So Donna is the winner, and you'll be able to join us too for high holiday services, Donna, if you'd like to, and join us virtually for that. So with that, I think those are the only questions that I've seen. So we will join together for those that would like to. Before we do the Kiddush, we light our Shabbat candles and join with Cantor as we sing that. And welcome Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu להדליק נר של
We also raise our Kiddush cup with Cantor and with me, my extravagant, beautiful cup that we take off the shelf, just like it says in the Talmud, to be able to celebrate so it doesn't break tomorrow, or if it does, that we've at least used it. And we say thank you to God for the sweetness of Shabbat and this time together.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Borei peri hagafen Amen.
Sign.
L'chaim.
We do that. We ask God to bless each and every one of us with the words of the priestly benediction.
Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
May God bless you and may God protect you.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka.
May God shine upon you and may God shine through you.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yisimcha shalom.
May God lift you up, giving you the strength to be you. And most of all, may you be blessed with peace. Peace in your heart, peace in your home, peace in our world. And may each one of us bring a little bit more peace into our community.
V'yisimcha